Follow the Money, How China Bought the World, written by Michael William McCarthy, narrated by Russell Newton. Kinmen Island, off the Chinese mainland, is a tourist attraction of a very different kind. Formerly known as Quemoy, there are no museums, beaches, hip restaurants, nightclubs, ancient ruins, or that sort of typical tourist attraction. The island is known for its tunnels. Actually, Kinmen is neither famous nor exciting, but it should be. After you read this book and tell all your friends, it may well be. Kinmen has a fascinating past and an important future. It was on the cutting edge of the Cold War, and if or when the CCP attempts to invade Taiwan again, it may be the place where World War III erupts. For reasons best known to itself, Kinmen belongs to Taiwan, but the island is no more than a hop, skip, and jump from mainland China. In 1949, the Chinese Civil War ended with the victory of the Communist People's Republic of China, PRC. The government of the Republic of China, ROC, controlled by Chiang Kai-shek, and his Kuomintang, KMT followers, along with 1.3 million anti-communist citizens, fled from mainland China to Formosa, now known as Taiwan. Given the state of poverty in China after World War II, a lot of people joined the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, which formed the People's Liberation Army, PLA, and won a war against the nationalists. Following Shek in grim pursuit, in 1954, Chairman Mao started an artillery barrage from the mainland aimed at destroying the general's troops based on Kinmen. Rather than get blown to bits, the Taiwanese dug tunnels. They dug an awful lot of tunnels. They built an entire city underground, complete with streets, barracks, hospitals, schools, and even a marina. The CCP bombardment went on for years, first with artillery, and then with propaganda leaflets. The Communists only gave up the battle after the U.S. 7th Fleet showed up, and Mao's invasion attempt ended. U.S. Secretary of State Christian Herter, 1959 to 1961, later referred to the conflict as the first serious nuclear crisis. The China Quarterly, Volume 62, June 1975, pages 263 to 270, contains mention of 2 volumes of Cultural Revolution compilations by Mao Zedong. Although these documents cannot be authenticated as to accuracy of transcription and are obviously selective, they throw light on the 1958 Quemoy crisis with surprisingly frank admissions of miscalculation on Mao's part, both in terms of his objective in the bombardment and his underestimation of the American response to it. However, the distinguished British historian Margaret Macmillan believes that Mao may have concluded it was in the best interest of the PLA to leave Quemoy in the hands of the nationalists. If the PLA were to seize the islands, or the nationalists were to abandon them, the distance between the mainland and Taiwan would lengthen from a few miles to over 100, and lengthen perhaps in thought as well. Moreover, the acquisition of these offshore islands by the PLA and their separation from nationalist control in Taipei would tend to validate acceptance of the two Chinas policy, to which both Mao and Chiang Kai-shek were vehemently opposed, both claiming to be the real boss of China. The Taiwanese have maintained troops on Kinmen ever since. In time, they started to rebuild the town above ground. Some of the tunnels were discontinued, but then some genius eventually got the idea that there might be a chance to create a tourism business, somewhat like the tunnels dug by the Viet Cong in Vietnam, that still draw many Western tourists keen to see where Charlie hid during the war and ate rat meat while the Yankees stuffed themselves fat with fine French food in what was then known as Saigon, now Ho Chi Minh City. This has been Follow the Money, How China Bought the World, written by Michael William McCarthy, narrated by Russell Newton. Copyright 2023 by Trina Day. Production copyright by Spoken Tome Media. You need to hear this.